Let's take a look at solving two examples of variables on both sides equations. The first example we'll start with is the equation 15 plus 6x is equal to 45 plus 8x. To begin with, draw the line down from the equal sign so you can separate the left and right sides of the equation. The very first thing that we're thinking about when we try to solve a variables on both sides problem is that we want to isolate our variable, our x variable, on one side of the equation. Okay, so we want to eliminate one of the variable terms, and we want to start with the smaller valued variable term. And in this case, that's the positive 6x on the left side of the equation. Okay, so by taking the inverse, by subtracting 6x from both sides, then we can isolate that x term, that variable term on the right side of the equation. Okay, so after we've eliminated the variable on the left side, we're left with 15 is equal to 45 plus 2x. Okay, 8x minus 6x gives us that remaining positive 2x. And once you've done that, now you've just got a two-step equation like we've solved previously. Again, here you're thinking about isolating your variable term, the 2x, okay? And that means that the constant that's next to it on that right side, the positive 45, that should be the next thing that we eliminate in solving our equation. Okay, so we're going to subtract 45 from both sides of the equation to eliminate that term. On the right side, you're left with 2x. On the left side, 15 minus 45 will leave you with negative 30 as your remaining quantity on the left side. Okay, so now all we've got to do, we want to solve for x. If on the right side it tells us that 2 times our value for x would equal negative 30, we can simply kind of undo that operation by by dividing by 2 on both sides. Okay, so dividing by 2, that eliminates the original multiplication. On the right side, now we're left with just 1x. Okay, on the left side, a negative 30 divided by 2 gives you a result of negative 15. Okay, so there you found your solution for what x equals in the first example, negative 15. Let's take a look at another example, okay, of a variables on both sides problem. This time we've got a little bit, a slightly different problem. There's a few more terms on the left side of the equation. Let's read what the equation is asking us to do first. On the left side, we've got negative 10 plus our 1x plus another constant 4 minus another constant 5 is equal to 7x minus 5 on the right side. Okay, so we've got 3 constants that are on the same side of the equation on the left side. And so we want to simplify our equation first, and we can do that by combining our like terms. Okay, those constants are the terms that we can combine. Negative 10, positive 4, and negative 5. Okay, so when you are combining those terms, the sign that is directly the sign that is in front of the term, it's going to be included and tell you what operation to use when you're combining those terms. Okay, so negative 10 plus 4 would give you a negative 6. Negative 6 minus 5, we would have a negative 11 as our constant on the left side. Okay, so combining those, we've just simplified our equation on the left side. X minus 11 should be equal to 7x minus 5 on the right. Okay, and now you've got a two-step equation, a variables on both sides equation that looks a lot like example 1. Okay, so we'll do the same thing to solve this one. We want to isolate our variable, and we're going to start by eliminating the smaller valued variable term, the 1x. Okay, if you subtract 1x from both sides of the equation, you eliminate that term. We've got negative 11 on the left. On the right side, 7x minus 1x, we'll have 6x remaining. And then still our negative 5 is in our equation. From there, we can isolate our variable term by eliminating the -5, the constant there. Taking the inverse, adding 5 to both sides, that eliminates that term. We've got 6x remaining on the right. On the left side, -11 plus 5 will give you -6 as a result. Okay, and from there we can solve for x by dividing by our coefficient of 6 on both sides. Okay, and finally you've got x on the right. On the left side of the equation, -6 divided by +6 gives you a -1 as your solution. Okay, so x should be equal to -1 for example 2.